All right, guys, we are back with another episode of Puckin Around. I'm Cody Pucks, and I fixed the setup a little bit from last time. Looks much better tonight for me. This is a late night for me, but I wouldn't want to do it for any other guy than Max Air Jordan.
Let's go. We're back.
How we doing?
Couple
of
Scottsdale
California.
boys.
Yeah. So we met we met before IceCon. Kind of take us through how that trip went, and
we met at IceCon.
What led up to the trip. Yep.
Oh, like that weekend? Yeah, I don't know, man. I was so yeah, it is late. I'm West Coast, so sorry. It's 8:00 over here. It's 11 where you are. IceCon. Elio's throwing a big event. I'm from California, and if you're an ice person, I think we need to start like a club of like, how do I explain to my girl or my buddies, hey, I want to go Coyote Stars Sunday night. Like they're like, why? Like you don't care about the Stars, you don't care about the Coyotes. Like what is it? So I just avoided that at all costs, and that's where I found Cody. Cody, you tweeted a couple times. I think you had an extra bed in the Airbnb, and I was like, you know what? And it was like the most random Airbnb. It was JC, his buddy, you, Will, me. I don't know. It was basically like Jersey Shore house, but at IceCon and all dudes. But yeah, then we went to IceCon and someone spilled beer on me, and you let me borrow your jersey, and I was fucking ecstatic ever since that point.
That's right. That was my way of getting out of the doghouse. Had to get that jersey for my girlfriend. You roomed with JC.
Yeah.
You got. I feel like I might have had to go to the bathroom, walk by that room, saw you guys having some late night conversations. anything that you can remember?
Are you gonna have JC on one of these?
Yeah. JC.
That one's gonna be great.
Teaser. Yeah.
That one's gonna be great. He's gonna be Flames. He's a Flames guy, right?
Flames.
Okay.
Gonna talk a little Flames, a lot of IceCon, a lot of
Yeah. No, I mean him and I, man. Like we're friends, and I never thought I'd have a friend from Czech or Czech Republic, or I don't know what it's called. But yeah, we became friends through hockey, and in that like late night dorm room session, we talked about everything but hockey. He was asking me like what In and Out was like, and like and like I don't know, he was just so infatuated by like Scottsdale, and for that to be like one of the first U.S. cities that you see, like that's got to be crazy for a European like that to just come over to Scottsdale. But everybody that knows JC, like they love him, and I'm no different. I had no problem bunking next to him. I had an Austin Matthews shirt. He's like, I like it. I was like, buddy, it's yours. Like you're probably not going to buy this in the Czech Republic. So he was the best, man. He's a funny guy, and if you see him on Twitter, like it's kind of one where I see people being like, this guy's an idiot, and I'm like, yeah, but if you get it, you get it. Like,
yeah, we're all idiots at the end of the day.
Like he's probably like a normal guy in Czech, like a completely normal guy, and just his friends over there just have no idea how much of like a star he is in the ice world.
I agree with that, and that's the thing I always tell him. So English not his first language, and I think he gets a little hesitant,
Sure.
when he gets on there. But that's the thing about America, man. You just give it your best and show your personality, and people will come to you. You'll be a magnet. Man,
I think he was just talking about the Grand Canyon for fucking like 2 hours. It's just no matter what I would say, he'll just be like, yeah, going to the Grand Canyon tomorrow. I'll be like, all right, fuck yeah, like you're the man, like have fun, can't wait. The only thing that could have made that trip better would have been the over.
Yeah, the over. That's the only thing that well, technically we halved because it was only 6. I think I sent out the tweet. We moved it to 6.5, but I bet the 6.5 for sure. The memories of IceCon just make me so excited for next year. We'll see where it is.
Yeah. The thing too, back. Like I can't like even imagine like that was kind of like God being like, yeah, you're at this really cool event. You're having a great time with all your boys.
Yeah.
You're not getting over.
Hmm.
Like there's a cost to this, like
Yeah.
and just being there with all the guys. And I think the next, I don't know. So you knew how like the seating was, right? It was just all bleacher seating. Like nobody got to pick who sat next to who or who did whatever. And I think I was like 2 rows in front of you or something, but we weren't far. And Dave Portnoy just casually making his way over, like I don't think he did it on purpose. I don't even think he knew what he was doing. But by the end of the game, he's sitting right next to me, and I'm just like, I'm not getting up. Like, there's no way I'm
Yeah.
moving. So every IceCon clip, like every single, because I think NHL Network had tweeted about it. I was on NHL Network next to Dave, and I was the pizza review next to Dave, and I was just next to Dave the whole night. Where the next day, a lot of people that one didn't even know I was in Arizona, and two didn't know I went to IceCon. Like they're all like, "Oh, you were Dave? Oh, you guys look like your best buddies." Like just all day nonstop. It made me feel like the coolest guy.
It's like, yeah, for sure. Like we are best buddies.
I was telling people, I was like, that's my boy. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. We were celebrating goals. We were, I took a beer for him when that guy spilled it on me, not him. Like it was, and it was just so funny because I mean, again, the seating arrangement was just random. It was just
Yeah.
first come, first serve. Whoever shows up, who doesn't. I think the Heat Daddy and Swish were there. Surreal, just like because they're like both of them, and then Dave and like all the other Chicklets guys. They're like celebrities, right?
Yep.
And I don't know. I never really got starstruck, but like in the moment, you're in the section cheering for a team to
You're
score.
just
You're
doing
rooting
it.
for
Yeah.
both.
You're
Like yeah,
just
it was
doing
so
it.
weird.
Yeah. I
It
know.
was
Yeah.
weird.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I I got on the very last bus and all of a sudden I found myself right across the aisle from Ryan Whitney. I think I asked him some stupid ass question about like who's going to win the Masters
Yeah,
and but then like you said at the arena all of a sudden you're just right there and like the guys that you're following every night and you're cheering for every night, they're right there. But
and you're like a step up. They know you. They know you. Like obviously the helmet helps out a little, but like
allegedly.
it helped. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
like I think you got a good step on the I like if it was ice people, right? Like Elio's the dictator, and then maybe you got Dave, who's like vice president or something. You're definitely like a congressman of the ice
I'm
people.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to be
Maybe
a
you're running your
congressman.
own. Yeah, yeah. I would say. I'd say you got one thing. JC's got another one over here. Will might have one down. Like it just little by little, Ice Con is getting more lieutenants and sergeants and stuff like that.
And that's what we need for next year because I think Mr. Ice would call it a down year. We're going to be back. We're going to be ready for next year. Let's get into some ducks. Some ducks. Quack
Okay,
quack.
Orange
Uh,
Country, baby.
Orange Country. They
You
got
like
some new.
that?
So what do you think of the threads this year? They released some new jerseys. How do those things
Yeah.
look to your eye?
Well, I got on the 30th anniversary retro that they wore this last season. I'll tell you, when these first came out, I didn't like them, right? But then one day I was at the stadium. I live 10 minutes from the Honda Center. So it's like one day I was at the stadium and I was like, you know what? This purple's like just like I kind of fuck with it. Nobody else has it. They look great on the players on the ice. And then I just bought one and I just have worn it ever since, which this kind of became my new default until I found out they were dropping new threads. Now, I like the Bengals just like you. I remember we were talking about that. Between the Ducks and the Bengals dropping orange pants, my whole closet is going to be orange. It's going to be
I love
Ducks,
it.
Bengals, and then like I might have a shed of like USC and Angels, so it's like red and orange, and that's it. And yeah, I mean, I like them. I didn't like the old D duck foot, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I
I think
agree with you there.
anytime you go away from the mighty duck logo, it's like no matter what you put out next is going to be a downgrade. And I think a lot of people have. That's just like I'm new on Ducks Twitter, but I can tell you that a lot of people like the mighty duck logo, and it almost seems like a bonehead decision why they ever changed it, but they did. But
You think
I mean, it's back now.
a duck you can do a lot of cool stuff with, you feel
Oh
like,
my
right?
god. Well, I remember when
Maybe
they
it's the
came in,
Oregon
people were
duck
like
that's in our
laughing at them.
mind. Yeah.
I don't know. They were just. I remember people laughing at the name Ducks like early on. They were like
Right.
Ducks, like
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks. Like
And
what?
people are kind of hating on the new threads too. And I don't know. Like even that white is sharp.
I'll tell you what
So
though, when they play the Flyers, I'm not watching because that is going to be orange and white and orange and white and orange and white.
yeah.
It's just going to be way too much orange. But I say that, but that's probably one of the most interesting games on our schedule this year.
Yeah.
With Cutter Gauthier, like he was in Philly, requested a trade, came to Anaheim, so now Philly fans like it's a. I got all the Ducks Twitter storylines. I'll let you drive the boat though. I'll take a step back.
That's right. Last year they let's be honest. Let's look.
No, you.
So,
It's hey.
I mean, they stunk, didn't they?
Let me ask you this: do you ever bet against the Sens?
No.
So let's say you think the Sens are going to get smacked. Do you take the over?
Over.
Okay. Okay.
So that's one thing that I do, and I don't know that. I guess in the playoffs it's different because the playoffs,
Sure.
No overs will hit. The player props are tough. It's just a different game. So and I need action. So the only way I can hit these games when it comes to a certain point is I gotta play money line side, like plus money line.
Sure.
But you bet against the Ducks? Admit it.
I wouldn't say maybe I'll take another team's team total.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Oilers team total over 4.5. I might take that.
It might be free money.
No, I'll be honest. Before I've been watching hockey religiously for 3 years now. I think it was when might have been Lightning when the Lightning won it.
In the
It was
bubble?
It was
Or
Lightning,
no,
Abs,
bubble.
Lightning, Abs, Vegas. Whoever was before Abs that year was the year I started watching. So when I kind of started betting on it. That's how I started watching it. I'll be honest. And then I realized like the value here is insane if you do your research and if you are like aware of power play, who's on what power play, and like sometimes you just need you're rooting for penalties. You get a penalty, you get a power play, your guy gets a point.
Right.
So that I would focus more on betting and being local to Orange County. Like I would, if I'm going to a hockey game, it's a Ducks game. I'm not going to Kings. I'm going to Kings in the playoffs, but for the Ducks games here during the season, that's the go-to spot. So yeah, sometimes the Oilers were coming to town, and I say, "Hey, McDavid, Draisaitl, like I have to take this."
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: no underdog has like bitten me more in the ass than the Ducks.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of true hockey gamblers can say, "Yeah, I took Carolina minus 300, and the Ducks won outright."
That's right. That's right.
It's happened. It's happened, and it's brutal, and you can never predict when it's going to happen.
They got some players. I mean, obviously they traded Enrique last year in the middle of the season. He was having a decent year, but Frank Vetrano, I mean, what's up with this kid?
He's a guy, another one that like I kind of like when guys are on like juggernaut teams. Like he was on Florida and New York before. So maybe he was a role guy there, or maybe he was a second, third liner. He could come to Anaheim and do what he did last year, score 30 goals. And everybody in the city loves him. He was an all-star. I don't know if you remember this. He's an all-star game. They're picking players. He's the last one picked.
Yep, I do.
Which makes sense. Like he probably, there's McDavid, Draisaitl, McKinnon. Like the Ducks don't have anybody like that on their roster. Like yet, they don't have a Matthews. They don't have, they're lacking there. So it does make sense that their all-star was the last pick, but still kind of fucked up.
Yeah, 37 goals. That's a hell of an outing. Playing for a team like that, you just kind of got to be a gamer.
And I kind of like that too, though. Like don't get me wrong, I like winning, but if I had to pick a guy who's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna go sign with the Panthers and or I'm gonna go sign with the Oilers and just stand in front of the net and play with McDavid," or like a guy like Radko Gudas, who was like, "Yeah, I've been on the Panthers. I'm gonna go to the Ducks and I'm gonna be a leader on the." Like he might have not been able to be a leader in Florida, maybe he was
Yeah.
not, but he could be a way bigger leader in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what he does, and he's a fan favorite. People love him. Um, and yeah, I think that says a lot. And it's a guy like Frankie too, who comes to a lower tier team and is like, "Hey, I'll be the number one guy on this team instead of the number 4 or 5 on this team." And I like that. I like that about dudes. You like that in your players, you know? That
Yeah,
I do at
absolutely.
least.
He's got a lot of young guys. You guys got a lot of young talent. He's got a lot of young guys to mentor. You also have Alex Killorn, who he's a vet. He's won some cups before. He's good for the team. Uh, I guess you can talk about your favorite young guys, but I just have to say
Sure.
real quick, one of my favorite is McTavish. I think
Oh,
McTavish is filthy, and he was hurt a little last year, so his stats might have not been what maybe fans expected, or at
yeah.
least what I expected, because there were games I hit him and he didn't hit, but by the end of the season, it seemed like he was back in form. You got Leo Carlson
Yeah.
and Cutter.
That's another
It's got to
that's a
be
guy.
exciting for you this year, yeah.
So, I mean, I was excited when I found out who Trevor Zegras was. I was like, "Oh shit, this guy's on the Ducks. Like he's doing Michigans and doing all this stuff." Rough year for him last year. I get that. McTavish, great guy. Kind of. He's like when like analysts be like, "Oh, his impact won't be on the score sheet tonight, but
Yeah,
it's made
yeah,
him."
yeah.
And he's exactly that. Where he's like, he can have 0-0-0 and just be like, he still had a great game.
Just always
He just
has the
didn't get the
puck in the
right
right spot.
bounce. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And if anything, like he can help turn the other team has momentum. He can help turn that around and at least neutralize it. If not, get it going the other way. There's a goal he scored in Pittsburgh this year. It I think
Filth.
the game was 3-3, and he got out of the box and he got a breakaway. And
Oh
he just
yeah, yeah.
barely won
Mouse in the house. Mouse in the
with
house.
with
Yeah,
5 seconds
yeah.
left on in the
That's
game.
sick. I
I was at
remember that.
Costco picking up pizzas, and I was like, "This is insane!" And that's what they do in the beginning of the year. So, like, I know I'm talking a lot about the Ducks too, but I'm talking to a lot of gamblers who this is the late game. The Ducks are
Mhm.
the get your coin back game. 7 p.m. West Coast, 10 p.m. East Coast. Like you're trying to get some coin back. And I think if you really understand this team, right? If you want to bet for them, or bet against them, if you really take the time to learn the lower tier teams in hockey, you can
I
print.
completely agree. Yes,
You can
yes.
print
I
money
completely
if
agree.
so. Like with the Ducks, are there games where they go into and I say, "Hey, I got a good feeling they probably aren't going to squeak one out tonight," right? And then but I still get bit in the ass, right? We can talk about betting the Ducks later. But as far as young guys, McTavish, he's great. Cutter is a guy that I'm just. It's almost like if I bought a scratcher ticket and the first bubble I scratch and it says free ticket, and the rest of it is unscratched. I have unlimited possibilities, and I don't know what he's going to be, but I mean I don't know. He didn't cost me anything. Like
Nah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
he just showed up because he wanted to be here, and the way they talk about him is it just I don't know how he's not the next fucking 100-point guy on the Ducks. Who I don't know if they have one, but I mean I don't know how he's not the leading scorer next year. Just how good he is, and playing at BC and being a top 5 pick. Like to me, it doesn't make sense how they would even let him go. But we have him now, so
Yeah,
boohoo.
yeah. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I've heard
Yeah,
good
but they
things
were
about
throwing
him
out a
too.
Ferrari.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And you guys got. I mean, Troy Terry. He had a down year last year, so you have to expect him to come back and produce a little bit more than he did. I think he's a pretty good player, and he's got some favorable odds just to get a point a lot of nights.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, these West Coast teams, you're forced to watch them. So I'll watch them, and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of fall in love with like a couple of
Yeah.
these guys that you see skating around there.
So
How
some of
is
these,
it?
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, some of these teams really like I don't watch a ton of Sharks, but like when they're on, I'm just like their colors are just so sick, and like and you can bet that game knowing, yeah, every now and then they're going to beat a team they're not supposed to, but for the most part they're losing by 2, empty net with 2 minutes left, and we know we're getting the -2.5. Like I
Yeah,
love these teams.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I love these teams.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
I think I think Edmonton played San Jose at one point in the year, and I took
Yeah,
like -2.5 or something, and the Sharks
I never
covered.
do that.
The Sharks covered because it looked so good to be true. I was like, dude, they're gonna pound them, and
Yeah.
didn't win. I don't know. It's fun though. How is it? It's got to be. It's weird for us East Coast time zone people. Uh, the 4 p.m.
Mm.
7 p.m. How is that? Have you had that your whole life, or?
Yeah, I've been West Coast forever. So like the only weird, like NFL's kind of a little weird, right?
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I kind
9
of
8
I kind
or
of
10
I
a.m.
prefer your guys' NFL start at 1, right?
Okay.
Because I mean I might sound dumb complaining, but NFL starts at 10 over here in the morning, 1 and then 5. So when 5 is over, it's 8:39, and you just have the worst Sunday scaries
Mm-hmm.
of like going back to work. You're just not trying to fuck with it. But for hockey, 4 o'clock kind of fucks me. Like I get out of work, I'm trying to go run errands, I'm trying to beat traffic home, I'm trying to maybe go get a lift in, go to the gym, try to not feel crazy, and it's just like I'm always home at like 4:30, 4:26, and it's like I
It's
just
got to be
missed like
tough.
that
Yeah.
first fucking 10 minutes. And yeah, I don't know. I don't love it, but then I don't know how I would do a 10 o'clock game every night the way I'm watching these games.
Oh, it takes a toll on your body, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
And
it
then you got
sucks
to wait
when
all day for 7 o'clock. You got to wait till 7 for the first game.
so at least for me, I work outside. I'll get home later, and I'm usually off like 5:30, so that's kind of perfect for me. Like
Yeah.
I'll drive home, I'll listen to 300 seconds on the way home. I'll get Sometimes I won't even send out a tweet like all day. I'll be like, dude, I'm not betting. And then I'll listen to that episode and I'll be like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm so soft. Like, let's go.
I,
But I'll get home, I'll take a shower, I'll get something to eat. And by that time, it's like 7:15.
yeah.
We're ready
Oh
to
my
go.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple times I've like, you got everything you got done. You just took a shower, or your fucking Postmates just got here and it's puck drop. And you're just like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this is insane. And I don't know, something about the game of hockey, like just watching it could be any game that can be an instant classic in the regular season. Don't get me wrong, there's duds, right? Like we've seen our duds, but there's just some games that Crosby did this, or
Yep.
Kaprizov had a hat trick, or
You feel like you don't want to miss it live.
yeah, and like that kind of stuff. Like Frank Vetrano had a hat trick late in the season. Um, it might have been, I think they were playing Chicago or Vegas or something late in the year, and like I think they were playing the Kings, and he had a hat trick where he just sent one. The third goal was like from behind his own net, and of, I have a bad habit of when I bet, if Vetrano scores in the first 5 seconds, I'm betting hat trick. Maybe not just him, whatever game I'm watching, right? Like if I have, maybe the only guy I don't do it with is Matthews or McDavid or McKinnon. But if it's
Not
like
worth
guys
it.
that
Yeah.
like some guys that I really like, I just respect, and like, 4 minutes into the game, Dylan Larkin goal, it's like, okay, I'm betting Larkin hat
Like
trick, because
Larkin.
then you
Yeah.
just need one
Yeah.
more, and then my favorite situation in hockey is the empty net, and when they pull that fucking guy out of the net, and the other team just turns into fucking high schoolers, and then the team that's losing turns into like the fucking Miracle on Ice hockey team. And you just see guys fumble it, or they skate it to the red line, shoot it down, miss the empty net. Bertuzzi skating it backhand off the post, doesn't go in for 7. So many things that can happen in that thing, and it's literally like a treat every night that we get to watch a situation like that. It's crazy.
That, I think that's something that people that don't watch hockey, they don't. I keep telling my friends that don't watch hockey, like, it'll be 4-1, they'll give up on it, but I've watched it so much that I know if that team gets it to 4-2, that goalie's getting pulled, and anything can happen in that moment. If you have an over 6.5, 4-1 with, I don't know, there
Yeah,
could be
you're dying.
4
You're dying
minutes
for
left,
that other team to
4
score.
minutes left. Power play, all of a sudden, power play. That's another aspect of it. Get the puck in the net, 4-2. All of a sudden, that goalie's coming, and you're in business. So,
and
there's so many dynamics.
I might have had it where it was 4-1, and it goes 4-2 with like a minute 15 left, and you're like, they're gonna drop this puck, get possession, and pull the goalie. And a lot of the times, dude, they don't get possession right away, and they're just skating around and not clearing it, and like, so for me, I think in all sports, and it's not even betting wise, I could not have action on the game, or I can have money line only. Like, for me, there's nothing more interesting than how a game is played for 2 7/8 of a game. They play the hockey game one way, and then the last 2 minutes of the game, like, they're playing a completely different game.
Yeah.
Where they're just defending at all costs, and people are flinging it down, and I don't know. Betting too. When you have the Jets minus 1.5, and the other goalie's pulled, and you have Scheifele anytime, you just know it's going to Scheifele, red dot, red line, and then goal. You're getting paid. You're hitting the over. You hit the minus 1.5. Like, those are like beautiful nights.
The way that my heart beats when there's about a minute 30 that goalie's out, and I got some money on it. I mean, there's nothing like it, dude. Like, because it's either you hit it and you go nuts, or it hits triple zeros and you're just sitting there and your heart's still beating and you're like, dude, I'm such a loser.
There's
such
some
a freaking loser.
Yeah, there's some where don't get me wrong, sometimes you just get good looks early, maybe like at the 2-minute 140 mark. You just get a good look where they get a shot down, or whatever. And I've been on both ends of this. I've been on empty net with 1 second left, and I've been pulled goalie with 3 minutes left, nobody scores. Like, I've been on both sides. And there's just a moment that when there's a flurry in front of the net, the clock's at 15, they send it down, it's not icing, the guy goes back to get it, you're going down, and let's say they shoot it in on net, goalie freezes, there's like 7.3 seconds left in a defensive face-off all the way over there, and you're just like, fuck, I'm done, I'm dead. But then part of you is also like, well, win it back and shoot it down, like,
win it, shoot it.
Because I'll tell you, I hate when it's empty net. The guys are at the dots and they just chip it off the glass.
Yeah,
like, bro, go score. Like, go end the game. Like, I hate the chip. I hate the chip out. I hate the no icing calls. It's the most interesting 2 minutes in sports, I think, and it's just, I don't know. I love it.
It's exhilarating. So, what do you think? I don't know. What do you expect out of the Ducks this coming season? Are you expecting them to, I don't know, are you expecting wins? Are you expecting to just maybe play some player props? Are you thinking that, do they have that Dostal guy in goal? Is that their starting goalie? Yeah. So he's no slouch.
He'll burn you. He'll burn you if you, because a lot of people, I think in betting wise hockey, they think shitty team, a lot of goals, right?
Right.
And a lot of times that translates for some. Like, the Sharks are going to have a ton of games with 7 goals. The fucking Canadians are going to put up they're going to give up 7 in a game. Like, not 7 goals, but they're going to put up 7 in a game, 5-2, The Ducks are not really that team where, yeah, they have their nights where they play the Leafs and get clapped 8-1, but they also have a lot of they weren't as the most skilled team last year, but they were like if they were on their game that night, they're playing defensive. It felt like every game they won was like 2-1, 3-2, like where it's just they get a lead or they lock down or they lock down and then squeak one out 1-0. You know, like they beat the Stars that way. They beat the Panthers like for something one time, and it was just like you if you're gonna parlay the Ducks to win, it's gonna be Ducks in the under. It's not gonna be Duck, and very rarely it'll be Ducks in the over. Um, but this team isn't just like one where you see them and you're like, yeah, well, they suck. Bet the over because I mean they play good, but it's their goalies are facing 30, 40 shots a game. Like
Right.
not 30. 30 is kind of normal, but
Yeah.
I've seen Gibson put up a 50 spot
Right.
and lose. Like, so a lot of it's that, and this team is like so young that I'm excited for Cutter, right? Like that's a leader that I think can step up.
Absolutely.
I'm almost like nervous for Troy Terry, where like if he has another down year, that's kind of like you know. But
He might
on the
want to go
flip side,
somewhere else.
if
Yeah.
that's another good year, if he puts a good year, that's like we're talking. He's an alternate captain. I don't know if he can get a cap. Our captaincy's vacant. I don't know if they would give it to a guy like Troy Terry. But I mean, this guy took a beating from I forget who on the Coyotes. Do you remember that when they posted a picture of his eye on Twitter?
Mm-mm.
And like he
Mm-mm.
was standing, he stood up for Zegras or something, and he locked up with a big guy, and the big guy just started pounding on him. It
Mm.
was insane. I'll have to find a clip for you, but him, Cutter, Vetrano, McTavish, like these guys, like, and I haven't even mentioned Carlson, who I think is
I like
probably
Carlson a
our
lot.
best shot. He's
Mm-hmm.
probably our best shot at having a superstar on this team. Uh, now I don't know how guys develop. Like he's not going to be a McDavid or whatever, but there's only one McDavid, and
Right.
I think. I mean, they were saying this kid's still growing last year. They said he's still getting
Yeah, I
taller
heard that too.
and
Yeah.
bigger. So I don't know. I'm excited for him. Training camp I think is in like a month or something. So that's like 15 minutes from my house. I'll be going to that.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited about the young like defensemen they have, and Gudis, like I said, he's awesome too.
I love Gudis.
I'm very like I'm like I don't want to say playoffs, but like that would be a fucking treat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
the
For
Ducks
all the
if the
teams. Yeah.
Ducks went to the playoffs, and even if they go whatever, if they go to Anaheim first round and they lose in 5, I don't care.
Fine.
Playoffs would be great, right? We lose to Nashville in 5, like I don't care. That's okay, whatever. I would take playoff hockey in Anaheim. Like the day the tickets drop, I'm there. And yeah, I don't know. I think we could be looking at them in like March or February and being like, maybe, like
Yeah. Yeah. I
maybe they're
agree.
right there, like. But I don't think they're there yet. But I mean, with their young core, it's hard to imagine. If not this year, then it does feel like next year we'll be pounding the table, being like, all right, like it's time. So it's
Yeah.
either this year or next year, and I'm perfectly cool with that. Like if they don't make it this year, but they show improvement, 100%.
Right.
Because it'll be it'll be 24 or 25 that they'll be really going for it. So that's kind of
Right.
where I'm at.
Okay. So before we go, I didn't even mention Trevor Zegras. So
Yeah,
I call him TikTok boy.
fair.
Flashy.
You don't like the
The
Ducks? Senators fans don't fuck with the Ducks, or
No, so I do fuck with the Ducks. We
okay,
have the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. Was our some league team
sure.
back in the day when I was younger. Uh, like those same colors that you have on right now,
That's crazy.
and yeah, but Zegras seems like a lot of flash. You see him you see he was at Ruben's all white party. Everybody's like, who's this kid here?
Guys living it up.
Maybe that was the tabloids, but that just came across my timeline. Do you
That's got to
think
be
he's going to
fair.
have a bounce back year, or what's the feel in Anaheim?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the trade stuff all off season, and to me, I'm kind of indifferent. Like he's not as like a hockey fan and a Ducks fan. Like I love him. He's cool. He's flashy. I agree. TikTok boy might be harsh with the nickname, but we can work on something
That's
there.
fair. That's fair.
Him being at the all white party like must have been a nightmare.
His
Nobody,
girl, I think his girl was invited, not him.
sure,
His girl
his
was.
girl's uber
He was
famous,
her +1. Yeah.
but can you just imagine being like, I don't know, Drewski or Drake and just being like, who is this guy?
That's
Like,
Zegers, baby.
who is this kid? Maybe Drake knows. Drake's a little bit of a hockey guy, but yeah, I'm with it. I'm not at like I wouldn't buy his jersey today. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Which I was, the Ducks dropped new threads. I bought a new jersey. I have to pick a player to get on the back. I think I'm gonna go Terry.
I like Terry. I think
I think I'm gonna go Terry. I haven't decided yet. It's between him. Everyone's gonna get Carlson, so I didn't want to go that. I was thinking McTavish, but I think I'm gonna go Terry just to kind of try to call that one. But Zegras, I was kind of indifferent all summer if they traded him or not, and it looks like they're not going to. I mean, for now. But if you're gonna tell me we just watched the Panthers run and the Oilers run, I don't think they played as physical, but they still made it to the end. But like we watched the Rangers, the Panthers, the Canes, these hard hitting teams. Like I don't know what it would be like. I'm sure he'd be fine, but I just don't know. Like Trevor Zegras in the playoffs, like what does that look like?
right. Yeah, that's a good
You know what I
point.
mean? Like what does that look like? Because I love the between the leg stuff. I love the Michigan stuff, and I'm not questioning his toughness. I am just genuinely curious as to like
I think that's
is he
very
going to be out
fair.
there banging? Is he going to be out there? And that's something that'll be a treat that we get if they do make it is to see, hey, we're playing fucking Colorado in the first round.
Right.
Like not only is McKinnon like what's going to
Buckle
happen?
up.
Like
Yeah.
we're
Right.
playing the Stars because we know they're going to be in the playoffs. Like
You never
that's
know
not
until they make it though. Some guys like that, they
sure,
shine. Like even when
and that's cruel. That's cruel that
yeah.
we won't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But if I had to project a guy that he would be like in the playoffs, no disrespect, just pure hockey analysis.
Encouragement is what we're giving them. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you expect like a little Mitch Marner?
Oh boy, don't even get me started about Mitchie. Oh man.
Because like Mitchie in the regular season, like elite, like
Yeah.
fun guy.
Yeah.
Where's
Great.
the cool outfits? I don't know. If I had to, I'm a betting man. If it said like
Yeah. Yes.
who would he play like in the playoffs? I think Mitch Marner would be a heavy favorite.
Yeah, I will say
Maybe not effort wise, but
yeah.
not willing. I don't know how physical he's going to get.
Maybe some of my displeasure with him too comes from placing maybe a couple loose like goal scorer bets. You ever do like a goal scorer parlay and you like try to maybe there's like 3 night games, like try to hit one from each game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I always look at Zegras and I'm like, oh dude, Zegras plus 200. Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Maybe he's burnt me on. I don't know. I
he's
can't
pretty juicy for a guy who he didn't score a ton last year.
Yeah.
But I think he's in the threes. I want to say. I don't think we have a guy in the twos. And maybe just Vetrano. Yeah. Vetrano was probably 2, but we didn't really have a guy in the twos like that. Or in the ones. I mean.
That's what I like about them because, like you said, on those nights where Ducks maybe lost 6 in a row, but they're catching a team off of back-to-back, had to travel, and they always put the other team's players above them, and then like plus 185, you might find Frank Vetrano, and it's like, ooh, scroll down a little bit. Let's see a couple of these Ducks. Like, what are they looking like?
Well, I also too. You were talking about goal scorer parlays. I always do. So the maximum I do is 3. I don't do more than 3. That's just that's just a donation. I'll do 3. I'll do 2 mostly, but I never do same game. Mm-hmm. Because you're just never like, I don't know. You could just die
only
so fast.
Only in playoffs. Only in playoffs.
So, okay, fair. But you have some balls if you do same game. Like
right.
If you do Reinhardt, Kachuk,
but
also, it's tough because, like I said, I could do Larkin and Dylan Raymond or Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond anytime, right? Parlay, and it'll be like Sider goal, JT Thomas goal.
Dude, I know.
Fabry hadn't scored in 2 weeks goal, and then Larkin empty net, and it's like, well, if I only had fucking Lucas Raymond early. So I like doing my rule is if you're gonna do 2, they have to be different teams. If you're gonna do 3, they have to be different teams and time slots. I like to do the two in the morning and then McDavid at night to cap it off, like to get the cherry on top. So
yeah, you can hit them. I kind of compare them to like home run hitters. But I feel like the goal scorers you definitely hit more often. No,
you've been doing a lot of baseball off season or no?
No baseball.
Yeah, I'll do an Aaron Judge homer every now and then, and of course it's like the night he goes 0 for 4 or something like.
The thing that about that for me is I'll be feeling it, I'll be sitting on my couch, I'll hit it, and then like I'll go and do something else, and I'll just be like, dude, I'm not even watching the game. Like, what am I doing? And then I'll check, and
yeah. There's nothing like hockey.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, there's nothing like chill. There's just nothing. The only time I get upset with hockey is just you get a 5-1 early, or like you get a blowout. Like the blowouts. Sure, maybe for the over, but it's like in terms of just watching, like you get Jackets fucking Stars, and it's like 6-1, and it's just like I feel bad for the guys. I'm like, yo, come on.
Like, I'm going to bed, dude. Like,
but when you get a good one, when you get a fucking good one, Kings, I don't know, Kings Red Wings late night. 7 p.m.
Those East teams coming over there, that weird puck that they play. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, man. we got it. Maybe we should do some of that Pucks After Dark. That would be Pucks After Dark would be a nice little maybe. I'm calling trademark on it right now, but maybe stream one late game a week or something. Pucks After Dark, and then hashtag it, and get ready. Maybe we could do some bonk shit.
Special. Maybe if I like a player in the late game, it's just I don't know. It's hard to put it. It's hard to put it on one night because I don't know if next year is going to be like last year, but it's just so. Some nights they don't have any late games, and some nights they only have 2. And I know Friday nights, I feel like they should capitalize on. Like have a lot. They only got 1 or 2.
I think it is interesting too how like they care more about, like they're more afraid of Friday than they are of Sunday.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like Sunday, why do they like Sunday? Especially like, don't get me wrong, after the Super Bowl, go nuts, go all day Sunday, but. Or even sometimes like in the playoff games where there's 1 or 2 games on a Sunday, like fine, go crazy. But there's even me, like football's about to start, and my schedule is going to be football Sundays, hockey, football Sunday, Monday, hockey Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah,
but there's just no way. And maybe I might have college football Saturday, so I might just have hockey Monday through Friday. But I don't know why they put that many games on a Sunday when they can be the appetizer on a Friday for the NFL NCAA slate. Like that'd be perfect. Maybe Pucks After Dark should be the late game start of the third period.
Late game start of the third period for riders only.
Pucks After Dark, and then
no jinx.
I think it'll be funny if we're like Bedard has 2 goals and we're going into the third. You guys think Hattie?
I like that a lot. Well, I'm gonna have to stay up about as late as I stayed up tonight, midnight. I gotta work tomorrow. Max, thank you for coming on. It was very fun. I can't wait for next year.
You got to get out here to Anaheim, bro. I don't know if you have any business out here, but we can hit up Ducks Kings in a weekend. And
that'd be awesome.
Think about it.
I don't got business out there right now, but maybe in the future.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Pucks. I'm loving the series and glad I could be a part of the Ducks portion.
All right. Appreciate you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. I'll see you later.